Hey everyone, it's Fire. So this video is going to be about fishing and the puzzle quest. And how are they both related to each other? Patience, grasshoppers. First we gotta start with fishing. And so for fishing, there's a couple of things you need. The first one is you need to be able to get a fishing hook and line, easy for me to say. You can either find this off of like monster class enemies, loot hoarder, bosses, or you can buy it for dust. Dust is gotten from converting cards from the Tragical Gathering card game. Been in the game now for about a year. Actually, I think almost 2 years. Anyways, been in the game for a while. And if you get duplicate cards, which if you have all the cards, then all the cards are going to be duplicates. You get between 5 to 40 dust, depending on what card it is. Well, just the quality level, that's what matters. But so you can get dust to buy one for 50. You'll see if you just reset the shop. There's also one for 20. And I'll go over this in a little bit. You'll always see one in the curio vendor, which is the last tab in the shop. See, there's weaponsmith, curio vendor, provisioner. And so let's go over once you get the fishing charm, which actually I guess I need to buy that now because I don't have one. Okay, so we got the fishing charm. Step 1. Step 2 is you need a water ravine. So you either need a water ravine floor. There's also some quests, like this quest, or the knowing arcane spells. I also call it the gun quest. Bearkov always has a water ravine. I believe this does too. It's been a while, but I'm pretty sure that's a water ravine all around. So actually, if you had a free talent point, you could do that. This would be the simplest of quests. And yeah, I know both Badakath and Germer have water ravines. I think that's about it. And quick note, this is a water pit trap here. They are not water ravines. They look very similar. There is a way to make water ravines with either the Amulet of Geomancy, or you can also get the arcane spell, which if you've done the gun quest and donated it, that unlocks the ability to get arcane spells. And if you use it on the floor on an odd turn, so do /score. Okay, so we got to rest. If you're hasted, make sure you wait until it passes the haste turn, otherwise it will still say you're on the same turn. Okay, so we're on an odd turn. This will lower the floor. All right, so see, it is different in that on the water pits, the terrain around it's uneven, where on ravines it's very even. And if you look at it, it says a chasm. Okay, so all you need to do to fish is just have this in your inventory, and then you can either click or press on your keyboard in the direction, and you'll see attempt to catch fish, or you can just right click. And I got something, I'll go over that in a minute here. Also, when you're fishing, you want to make sure you're not going to die super easy because, well, let's just go really fast. You'll get these guys. And these are considered monster class enemies, though they're an easier monster class enemy. And I'm going to switch back to my Fire Aura Radiance. So once your inventory is full, you'll just start dropping stuff on the ground, which is perfectly fine. All right, so I got quite a few different things here. Now I'm going to go over what I got in my inventory, also on the ground. So let's see, are there any of the base fish? Oh, I don't think I caught any of the base fish. That's funny. Oh, let me catch a base fish. You can also level up this way. There we go. I was trying to find a regular fish. Okay, so this is a regular fish. These are the ones you'll get before you get... there's 2 fishing charms that affect what you get. And there's also a heritage, which this is the one that lets you buy the fishing hook and line at a discount of only 20 dusts. And it'll be in there, like I said, every time you look at the curio vendor in the shop, so you don't have to reset constantly to find it like you do other charms. And so you got to eat at least 10 different fish while being under the influence of alcohol. So anything that gives you the divine shield. And it's pretty easy. So there's negative and positive fish. So like this is a negative fish. I don't remember what this does. The best thing to do is, okay, this one makes you feel sleepy. But yeah, so different ones do different things. What that one does. I can't even remember. I think if you're immune to... So I would recommend being immune to its many status effects. Particularly like Confuse, Paralysis, Instant Death is always good. And then also like wearing a Ring of Immunity. Yeah, before doing that. Because I think you need to eat every single type of fish that... for it to be 10 types of fish. So that's the heritage. And then the other one that's associated with fishing is doing the puzzle quest 3 times in a game. And before I get into how you get to the puzzle quest, so there's 3 charms that you get. So Ernie's hat, I believe you can only get each of these once per a game, all 3 of these. And Ernie's hat gives you the positive fish, which, like, if I eat this one, you'll see I'll get +1 charisma. So you can eat up to 5 of them at once to get +5 charisma. Potions are a better way to go, but these are actually decent if you don't have access to potions and are looking for plus stats. Fatty fish, that gives you stamina. And nimble fish gives you agility. And then do I have any of the strength ones? Brawny fish, yeah. And then the other positive fish is the Goldback fish. I think it's 42 at 12 charisma. Maybe it's 45. Yeah, these will sell for us. So fishing's actually a good way for money too, and not too many turns. And then you can also level this way too. So once you're sufficiently strong, you can actually just level up this way and get money if you wanted. It's not a bad way to go. There's definitely less efficient ways to go, which is how I like to play. Half the time anyways. So this one gives you negative. So if you only want the positive, you'll want to get this one out of your inventory. Okay. So these 2 affect what quality of fish. You'll always see these fish. And then, yeah, so if I wanted to make money and everything, I would definitely get rid of this one, just put it in there. And then I'm going to get rid of that one to make some room. Okay, so this one, this is now where we are at the puzzle quest. The Dirty Diary. Dirty Diary. Once you can reset the dungeon, you just need to scroll through and you'll see one that looks just like the charm. This will start the puzzle quest. Alright, so this is to start the puzzle quest. And what is the puzzle quest? Let us see. Alright, so you got a couple signs here. Stand in the right place and say a number. Failure means death, so try not to fail. More on that soon. Okay, those of you there's probably a lot of you that are familiar with what this is. This is Sudoku. It's a puzzle game, and so you'll see there's lines going like this and like that, and there's 9 cells and then not 9 numbers within a cell, and each one of these where the line is has to have the number 1 through 9, and then that number cannot intersect with any of its own number. So if we look, so we know for sure, like, let's see, there's ones going like that. So we know there can't be a 1 here, anywhere in the top row, anywhere here. And obviously, as you get more numbers, it gets easier. Usually there's one point where I'll get stuck for a little while. And so then we see, so if we look at this bottom row, there's already a 4 there, so obviously a 1 can't be there. So there's only 2 potential spots for the 1. It's either here or here. And the reason it's going to be here is we got a 1 going here. So it's going to intersect with all of these middle numbers, these middle squares. And so you're going to want to go slow with this. I'm going to go over it in a second why you're going to want to go slow. Back to the signs. Yeah, so no, nothing in the top row, nothing in the middle row, nothing in the middle vertical row. So obviously this is going to be the 1. So you'll go on your keyboard, you'll hit 1, you'll make sure you hit 1, you'll hit enter. And you'll notice you take some damage. I got the Ring of Shielding on, which is good. That way you don't have to worry about damage. I also have regeneration from Trollish as well. Okay, so you'll see that one's different colored because you used your blood, which is why you take damage. So let's go back down to these signs. Stand in the right place and say a number. All right, so we did that. We stood in the right place, said a number, and we got the number 1, which we know was correct. Read this one. Failure means death, so try not to fail. Okay, now on that part. Let's say I was like, oh, the 1's here. And I typed in 1, hit enter, which I'm not even going to do that. You will die. Instantly. So, you want to be very sure. The first time I did this, because I ascertained that correctly. I successfully did this my first time. And that was because I did it on paper, which takes kind of a while because I had to write down all the numbers. And then I was able to go through and yeah, I slowly did it by hand on a piece of paper. So that's one way to do it. You can also just do it on the board, but again, I like to really make sure. So as you know, I can be pretty slow, especially with things I'm really thinking about, and I just want to make sure I'm right. I like to make sure things are right. I can tell this is going to be a 1 here. But yeah, oh, this will be a 1 there too. So usually, ideally, you can start kind of knocking off a bunch of numbers at of the same number. You can kind of get like all the spots just about with a number, and then it helps more things fall in place. That will be a 5. Okay, so yes, make sure you're certain. I also know this other solution I will judge you for harshly if you do, but you can use solvers if you go online. I'm sure I haven't done this because I actually like doing this for a while. I was just doing this, even though I normally don't play puzzle games like this. I still like puzzles, and so and then I was in Rogue's Tale, so there's just this while I was playing Rogue's Tale mostly just to play this game. And so yes, once you solve this 3 times, you can keep on going back to it as long as you can reset, like stay at the end, then you can just reset dungeon and go right back here. You will get, oops, that's on heritages. You'll get the most illogical challenge if you solve it 3 times in a single game. And I bet you'll probably resurrect with a 7 or 9 lives amulet. Probably. Okay, since I'm gonna go really slow, I'm not gonna talk anymore until I solve the puzzle. You'll notice up here there's lava, and you can't really see anything beyond. I've actually never tried going in there. There may be another time, because you can walk on lava with a fire or a amulet of radiance without taking damage. But another time. I keep on forgetting to test that out. Let me double check, make sure went through everything that we needed to get to. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna solve it. This part will be sped through like I was doing with my playthrough before the game got updated, and I didn't finish it, and I'm going to cry. Oh yeah, it's also a good idea to bring food and water, because if you're moving around, I should have stayed at the end again. I wasn't thinking about that. That's fine though. I got food and water, or just bring mushrooms. Okay, so I'm gonna take my time. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that A1 is right there. And we will get back once I solve this puzzle. Real fast, something I want to add that helps in solving it a lot. You always know if you have two numbers here, like I was trying to get this one, and no matter how few numbers you got in this cell, I had these two ones here, and then I had two ones vertically as well, so two horizontal ones, two vertical ones. So that always is 100% of the time going to give me the exact solution. I don't need any other numbers in that cell. And so, yep, because it eliminates the two bottom rows, and then this eliminates the left, this one here, vertical, and this eliminates the right vertical or column. Okay, so I just got one number left here, so I want to show you what happens. Um, most of this lower part, then I had this 6 and 4. I didn't know which way they went. I had to use some other methods, which you can also use, or sometimes it just helps you see things that you're missing. So let's take this to. Hold on, I'm trying to remember a number I specifically did it with. Actually, I might have did it with that too. I believe I did it with the 6 here. Yeah, I did do it with the 6. I remember. It just helped me see it, but I did it on a lot of these lower numbers to get them. So when this was blank, and I didn't know a lot of this other stuff, but I only had 2 numbers going across horizontally. I didn't have this 5 and I didn't have this 6 yet. I had all the other numbers. And so something else I don't think I mentioned at the beginning is you also have 1 through 9 going in a horizontal row, and then 1 through 9 going in a vertical column. So I looked here and you can go count through. So I was able to count. I went 1, 2, 3. I don't remember exactly where I might have had the 3 there. 4, 5, because I had that 5. So that eliminated, and then 7, 8, 9. Plus I had 9 there. You can also count the numbers in the row, because remember there can only be one of each number in the row. So you can go vertically, horizontally, and also whatever's in. Sorry, not the row, in the cell. So whatever's in the cell, you can count too. So I could count, like let's say I didn't have this 2 here, but I had this 2 here, then I can still count 2 when I'm counting if this 6 was blank. So I had to use that kind of for a lot of things, or it just helped me. It just can help you see things differently, and then you're like, oh, that's what I'm missing. But there was one that in particular I got really stuck on for a while. And yeah, then after that, they started falling into place. But yeah, it was after I just had these 2 numbers up here, and then I just didn't have hardly anything down there. So I really started digging deep. Okay, so on this last one, I can do it both ways. So I can count in the cell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. So there's no 8s. And then also if I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Making sure my picture wasn't covering or my video. 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Again, no 8. And then of course we got the 8s going across on the top and the bottom. So we know this last number is an 8. But you'll see, I'm going to speed it up very quickly. But I might slow down at some points, and you can see like how quickly or how slow like I'd go. I'm just like, okay, make sure you type it in right. Because actually I think it was the last or second last 9 I typed in. Heard the door open. This 9 right here, I just did that 6. I just had these 2 numbers, so I knew that was going to be a 9. And I went and I hit 6 just because I just typed it. And that's why I always sit, look, and I'm like, no, 9. And it's because I was still thinking 6 from putting the 6 in. Okay, so I've never gotten an encounter after clearing this dungeon, because you will get encounters after some of the bosses. Only some of them. I don't know what's up with that. I've never gotten an encounter after clearing this dungeon. And it will reset your encounter percentage to the 3%. Those are the 2 swords when you're in town. So always pick chests. I personally haven't broken this chest, but I do know breaking other chests, a lot of times you don't see like the money and everything. So the very first time each game, so you can get it each game if you die, but you can only get it the first time. If you didn't look at the chest, then this would be gone in future ones. But in the first game, or the first time you play the puzzle game, each playthrough, you'll get this nurse's shirt. And this protects you from dying once. It says from caused by a creature. I assume like something like a boulder drops on you is probably referring to that, or like maybe dying in lava or something like that. I've never had this activate. However, I've had, I think 3 times now in longer games. I don't know what causes this. I feel like it's a combination of quests, stopping in quests, and then a few other things. But one time I was recording, so I was very easily able to see nothing happened. Like, I know if something's going to happen that will kill me, like I'm always instant death protection anytime I'm like to the mid-game phase. And 3 times I've had the shirt say a cooldown of 666. So I assume that's what happens if this saves you. But so it doesn't have any armor, but it's triple enchanted. I would try to get the D3 healing off probably, but the other enchants are good. The fair and +6 health. I'm not going to wear it for the moment. But yeah, it's pretty cool. This is the only, right? Is it still the only legendary armor piece? There's a shield from David, the encounter. And then the other thing you'll get every time you do the puzzle game, regardless of how many times, you'll get a Vial of Pureblood. And this will make you forget all of your talents. You'll still remember any of your spells, but it will make you forget all of your talents. And then let's see. Yeah, so sort of is telling you what it does. So it also removes any bloodlines you have, and you can have all the bloodlines activated in a game. Usually I just don't even bother. It's too time consuming to do multiple bloodlines. The only reason I might do it now is for the new content. Doing that can make it easier, because it does make things a little bit better. But I just like the trollish because then I don't ever have to worry about healing, and then usually I try to get this as soon as possible. But yeah, so you'll forget all of your bloodlines, all of your talents, and you'll also gain strong will in your talents. This is the 8th talent. Unlike the 7th talent, which starts out as literacy common, but you can also unlearn this from either drinking cursed potions that have skills like the one that transforms you into a wolf, or the one that there's actually one that teaches you strong will. You can unlearn that, or through like using Book of Forgotten Memories, which is a good way. And you'll also forget it if you drink this, I'm pretty sure, yeah. But one thing I noticed in games where I do that, I actually don't have 8 talents then. I only have 7, unless this was fixed. Well, let's see. Okay, so I should have, I'll just drink it because there's not really that big of a deal if I do. Okay, so I have 6 talents because I got 5 here, and then I also got 1 extra talent point. So I should have 6 talent points and strong will. And strong will cannot be unlearned. You cannot remove it anyway, except if you get a bloodline, then it will get removed. Okay, so either that was because it might have been because I was level. It might not want to give you 7 talents if you're already level 18 or higher. I'll have to test that again. But yeah, so strong wills, you could definitely, especially not worry about like having charm. Charm's never been like one I was super worried about earlier on. I don't think I've ever died from being charmed, but I usually always get it now because of runes. You can have so many more. But so that's strong will. And any other things I need to mention about this? No, I think I might try relearning and then seeing it if it works. So the good thing is, oh, I forgot to check about the divine reach. Okay, good. At least I had that, so I can still cast spells and stuff at a distance. My spell damage will be a lot worse. Anyways, that doesn't matter. And again, this can only be gotten once every new game. So every time you solve the puzzle game the first time in a new game, after that you won't see it in there anymore. I think the charms can only be found once per game. I've never tried destroying them and fishing more, but I assume that's the case because that's how it works with a lot of other things. So I'm pretty sure that's the case. But yeah, one more time, we can go look back at the board here. And so this was, yeah, my solution, and I, you know, took my time. It was actually quicker than some other times. Definitely gotten better at it. And this was a tricky one. This is trickier feeling than some of them. But yeah, just go slow. You know, I would say even if you use a solver, here's the thing, always go slow entering the numbers. Always type it, look where you're standing, then hit the number. And if you type numbers when you're standing on these lines, it doesn't do anything. Or I'm pretty sure if I'll just type it there too, yeah. Doesn't do anything. Okay, everyone, I think that about covers it. So that's fishing and the puzzle game. Adds an extra dimension to the game that wasn't there before, and yeah, it was something I wanted to go over. If you do fish, just remember you're going to get those tentacles, so have a way to either run away and kill them from far away, which is a good method. You can just try running away. And yeah, they'll throw rocks, so you need to be beyond, I believe, 5, a range of 5. You can attack from a range of 8 with spells or arrows if you have focused cast specifically for spells or divine reach. All right, this is Fire, and we're on fire.